In this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to add a door to the system. So a couple of things that you want to do a little bit before you start adding a door, and it kind of makes sense once you start setting up your door why you would do these things. So first and foremost, under physical access, which is where we would go to add our doors, we want to make sure that we have our card formats completed. In this case, I have a 26-bit Wiegand format. It's all set. It's ready to go. I don't need to be adding any additional card formats to it because that is the card format I'm going to use. So if you did have card formats, you want to make sure that are other than the default ones that come with the product, you're going to want to make sure those are set up prior to configuring your door or doors. The second thing we'd like to do is, if we are using end-of-line resistance, and we do have some custom end-of-line resistance values that we're going to use, we want to go ahead and make sure that we add those custom end-of-line resistance values prior to configuring and setting up a door. Since I don't have any, and all my systems are installed with no end-of-line resistance, I'm just going to use the default. So next up would be to go to the settings section up here at the top, go to our holidays, and make sure that if we are using holidays, if we do have some holidays to schedule, that those are set up and configured in here, and there'll be a separate tutorial on how to do that as well. And then lastly, you're going to want to go into your schedule section, and you're going to want to set up and configure any custom schedules. The reason for that is, let's say that the door that I am putting in, I do want it to unlock. It goes into my lobby, and I want that unlocked Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and say 5 p.m. If I don't have that schedule created prior to setting up the door, then going in and setting it up, setting the door up, then coming back to the schedules to set up the schedule, and then going back to the door to apply the schedule seems a bit awkward. So want to make sure that you have any custom schedules that you're going to need to use that would be part of your door automations and so forth, that those are set up and configured prior to adding a door. So going back to physical access, I'm in the doors section. By default, it defaults me there, and I'm going to go ahead and click on add a door. I'm going to give this door a name. This is the front door to my building. It's part of my EP1502 demo control panel. Now, if you had multiple panels here, you would have to choose from that drop down the panel that you're actually attaching this door to. Alternate name and location are optional. They're not required. Access type is going to be, for me, is going to be single. But you can see that you obviously have options here, right? Elevator, if this is an elevator reader that's going to give me floor control plus feedback on what floor was pressed, that would be determined by elevator with feedback or no feedback. If this is a card in and card out type door, where I'm doing anti-passback, one of them is going to be the paired master, the other would be the slave. In my case, it's just a single reader, so I'm going to just go ahead and pick single. My door mode is going to be card only, because I only have a single card only reader on there. And then my offline mode is going to be disable. Now, you have 4 real options for panels here as far as offline mode. Since subcontrollers do not store any intelligence, the only 4 real options you have are disable, facility code mode only, locked, or unlocked as your options for offline mode. I'm going to choose disable. This is where I was getting it at when I was talking about schedules earlier. If you want to use this front door to unlock Monday through Friday 8 to 5, I would want to choose my custom mode as unlocked and then pick my Monday through Friday schedule. Since I don't have that schedule in here, hence the reason why we do schedules ahead of time. I don't want my front door unlocked, so I'm going to leave it alone. Mask forced during and mask held during, you can set schedules for it to mask those alarms from coming in during busy periods. Always mask forced and held. You may want to check those for some reason in the event that you maybe get a bad door contact or something, and you're waiting for maintenance to come and fix it. I like to choose a couple of things out of this list. One is detailed events. This actually tells me the current status of the door position switch, for which later on, if I'm creating macros or triggers, I can link them to that detailed door event. Is it open? Is it closed? And if it is open, do I want to do something in particular as far as macros and triggers go? The rest of this is pretty much self-explanatory. If it's a strike, do I want to pulse that strike on Rex? If it's a mag lock, I certainly want to. Do I require 2-card control? door forced filter. So this basically is a filter that you can apply to the door that says, if this door gets an access grant and within 3 seconds of that access grant I get a door forced open, just ignore that. It's probably not a real alarm event. Log all access is used. Possibly you might want to use that in the event that you just want to log everything, log the door as being used. That way you don't get an event, should somebody present their badge to the reader, not open the door, that would be followed by, it would be an access grant followed by door not used. So this is a great way to kind of minimize on what shows up in your log files. Enable cipher modes, probably not an option that's going to be used very much. It's tied to a mag stripe card format, which requires people to put the entire series of digits that you would find on a mag stripe in. Shunt relay is something that would be used in the event that you wanted to shunt a door position switch that maybe is reporting back to an intrusion detection system that's tied into the same door as the access control. And then do not log REX transactions. It's a great way to kind of cut down on the number of transactions hitting the database. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, just keeping this kind of simple. Next up is my operations tab. It automatically, again, this is a wizard-driven part of the product, so it's going to automatically take me to the next tab. So just to kind of keep it simple, one of the things that I do is I don't really monitor for pre-alarm. The access time when open is how long is my strike going to fire, even though the door is open. So for example, my strike time right here is 10 seconds, and this says that even if the door is open, I want to at least fire that strike for 5 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and take that out and just go ahead and put in here, I want a 4-second strike time. I'm going to leave my held open time and my extended access for those with ADA access who need that type of access. I'm going to go ahead and leave that in there as well. And then if you wanted to, we have some simple macros that are down here at the bottom. So if you, for example, if you had a local sounder at the door and anytime the door is held open or forced open, I can fire an output to the sounder. So we just made it kind of easy so you don't have to write your own macros and triggers. These are kind of done in the background. You just have to say, for this type of event, during these times or this time schedule, I want you to fire that output should one of these events come in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Again, being wizard driven, it's automatically going to take me to the hardware tab. This is where I said before, it's handy for you to have pre-named your inputs and outputs so that it's easy to pick them from the pick list. So I'm going to hit the drop down box and go ahead and pick the reader that's my front door. Notice I've already pre-named it. Since I didn't pre-name anything else, you can kind of get an idea what it would look like if I didn't actually put those names in for my readers. So, and then same thing for my door position switch, and then also my request to exit, and then my strike output. So notice those are all pre-named by me, made that picking them from that pick list a lot easier to do on the initial setup and configuration of a door. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm all done. My door is set. There's no additional stuff that I need to do in order to get that door up and operational. So if we go back here and take a look at the door, we can see that its status is all green. Notice that this little bar down at the bottom corresponds to our icons here. So I'm not in COM fail. The door is not locked. I have, power is green. There's no tampers. The battery looks good. No force or held open door at this point. So that's it. It's pretty simple to add a door. Doesn't require a whole lot of effort, and there are no additional steps to set it up.